Should you be using a DI box with your modelers? This sort of question comes up a lot, usually between a sound engineer and a guitar player. Whether or not we need one of these, we should use one of these. There is no clear-cut, simple yes or no answer. There's a lot of things involved that I'm going to break down in this video of why you may want to use one of these or why you may not need to use one of these. What's up, friend? My name is Matthew Dale. I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more. And we're going to talk about whether or not you should be using a DI box with your modeler today. Understanding everything that's going on in our guitar signal really matters here. So let's go ahead and talk about it. A DI box has one very specific job, usually in 90% of applications. A DI box takes an unbalanced instrument level signal and it converts it into a balanced microphone signal. What does all that stuff mean, though? So let's start with talking about audio signal levels. I'm going to start from the weakest and go up to the strongest. The weakest signal that we have in audio is a microphone level signal, like this microphone right here. This generates a very tiny little signal that we need to amplify with a preamplifier so that you can actually hear my voice in this video. Mixing consoles like my Behringer Wing behind me or audio interfaces all have microphone preamps so that we can plug our mics in, turn the preamp up, and hear the signal going through to our speakers. Mic signals are also low impedance, which means we can run a really long stretch of cable and not experience any signal loss. And mic signals are often, if not always, balanced audio signals as well. We'll talk more about that in a second. After mic level, we have instrument level. Instrument level is what's coming out of your guitar pickup straight to your output jack or bass, something like that. Instrument levels vary greatly. We can have weaker pickups that put out less signal, less level, and we can have stronger, like active pickups that are putting out more level. Instrument level signals are also usually high impedance, which is why when you put an analog pedal board together, you need at least one buffer there to turn your signal into a low impedance signal so that you don't have signal loss through all of your chain of effects. You can really only get up to about 20 to 25 feet of a guitar cable like this, or the chain around all of your pedals before you start experiencing high-end roll-off on your guitar signal. Instrument level signals are also usually unbalanced, and again, we'll come back around to that. The next audio level that we use is line level. This is usually what our modelers are sending out. Line level is a lot stronger than mic levels, and there's two standards that we kind of categorize line level in. -10 dBV, which is consumer level, and then we have +4 dBu, which is professional grade, professional audio line level. Line level signals are either balanced or unbalanced depending on what's going on, and usually they are low impedance as well. So again, we can have longer cable runs between devices. Now, the highest level audio signal that we see is speaker level. So this is the signal that's coming out of the back of a guitar amp or a guitar amp head going to the speaker or the speaker cabinet. This is carrying a lot more power with it, enough to drive a speaker. They're usually unbalanced signals, and the impedance will vary depending on your output transformers. So we have mic level, very weak, instrument level, a little bit stronger, line level, strong, and then speaker level, which is very strong, enough to move a speaker cone back and forth. Let's talk about balanced audio for a second now too, because this applies to DI boxes. Balanced audio connections are a way to eliminate noise from a signal. And in a lot of our audio devices, we do this with phase cancellation. So I'm just going to pick up this cable that I have right here. This is a TRS cable. Also on the other end is an XLR. So if you see either of these cables, an XLR cable or a TRS cable, these are going to be set up to use balanced audio or balanced audio connections. On the tip of the TRS, that's the T of the TRS, we have our hot signal. We have a phase flipped signal. This is going to be our cold on the ring, the R, and then the S, the sleeve, this is going to be our ground. Since this cable, short or long, it gets worse if it's long, can also act as an antenna. It can pick up noise along the way. if we're picking up that noise, the same amount of noise on both the hot and cold, and we flip the phase on the cold when we get it into our other device, we can phase cancel that noise, thus eliminating that excess noise from our signal. This is a great way to eliminate a lot of noise from your audio signals. Not all of it. It will not eliminate ground loops, but we like balanced audio for longer runs of cable. And again, we also like low impedance for a long stretch of cable. High impedance, we don't want to go more than 20 feet. So if I am sending a signal from the stage to my mixing console that is somewhere, the best chance or the best practice to send that signal is going to be with balanced audio and low impedance. And that is exactly what a DI box does. It takes an unbalanced instrument level signal and it converts it, again, which is instrument level is usually high Z, it converts it into a balanced low impedance mic level signal. Now, why mic level? Mixing consoles love seeing mic signals. They are often fitted with a number of microphone preamps, usually one per channel. On the back of my Behringer wing here, I have 24 inputs that have the Midas preamp in it. Mixing consoles don't really like seeing instrument levels. Again, hence why you would use this. Like if you're capturing a dry bass signal, you're going to be using a DI. They don't like seeing instrument level. And they don't always like seeing line level. It depends. Usually, the inputs set up for line level on most mixing consoles might be auxiliary ins, so an aux in. And if your inputs are set up with combo jacks, either XLR in or quarter-inch in, the quarter-inch in part of that combo jack usually will bypass the mic preamplifier, so it's going to be suitable for line level signal. By the way, the job of the microphone preamp is to take and boost that mic signal up to a line level signal. So is the DI box going to be changing your guitar tones from your modeler? Maybe. It depends on the quality and style of your microphone preamps that this is going to be going to. Okay, so I have an example set up where we can hear this in action. I'm using my FM9 to facilitate this and my Behringer wing. And on output 1, I am using the unbalanced outs set at negative 10 dB. And I'm sending that signal to a DI box, and I'm using XLR cables into XLR in the back of the Behringer wing. That's going to be on one set of inputs. The other set of inputs are just going to be using XLR to TRS cables going to the back of the wing, bypassing the mic preamp, basically. And then I'm just using output 2 on that, set at plus 4 dB. So the Behringer wing has this nice little alternate feature where I can bounce back and forth between these two, where we can hear this again in real time. I'm going to go just on a clean signal, and I'm just going to strum one chord. Let's see if we hear a big difference. This is the XLR, this is the FM9, and here's the DI. No DI. DI. There's not a whole lot different there. I really don't even hear one. Sometimes I hear it on single notes like this. Let me go back to just the no DI. DI. No DI. DI. No DI. DI. Let's hit it with some gain. Let me go to my lead channel here on this preset. Bridge pickup. Here is no DI. No DI. DI. it's really remarkably close, which tells us two things. First thing is that the mic preamps on the Behringer Wing are incredibly transparent. It's one thing it tells us. The second thing is these both sound good. These are two viable methods. I would be happy with either of these tones going through my monitors. So you can get good results with either. It's important just to know the proper application of each method. So here's a couple of examples. On my HX Stomp here, on the back of the HX Stomp on the outputs, these are either balanced or unbalanced out. And you can set the HX Stomp to send either a line level or an instrument level signal. So I could go unbalanced instrument level out of my outputs into the DI box and then XLRs from the DI box into the mixer. Or I could use a TRS cable to plug into the HX Stomp, send a line level signal into my mixer, and this one just happens to have an XLR on the other side. Now, another model that I had a long time ago, the Boss GT1000 Core, does not feature balanced outputs. So I would almost always be using a DI box with the GT1000 Core. With my Fractal units, you could go either way again, kind of like the HX Stomp, although I do have XLRs on the back of all of these devices. Like on my FM3 here, there's XLRs in the back of this. So these are balanced outs, balanced audio outs. I can send either -10 dB line level or +4 dB line level to the mixing console. And I could also send an unbalanced signal out of output 2, either at line level or unity gain, which is going to be around instrument level when I have the output 2 knob turned up. Now, 90% of the time, what I'm doing with my FM3 or any of my other modelers is I'm using the XLR outs. It's already balanced. It's low impedance. I can run long cables from it. I don't need the DI box. I can go straight into my mixer. The other thing that I really don't like doing just for myself is if you're using a DI box, you're always attenuating that level first just to bring it back up later. And obviously, you don't need to do that if you've already got a strong signal that can be accepted on the other end at the mixer. And the mixer is something that you're going to want to pay attention to as well. So obviously, the preamps on my Behringer Wing, the Midas preamps that this one features, are very transparent. I love it. I would have no problem in the Wing going XLR into the inputs, line level. I've done it both ways, line level or mic level, or using a 1/4 inch in. I would have no problem doing either of those. But on my old mixer, my Persona Studio Live 16, I could hear a pretty significant difference in my guitar tones from my modelers if I bypass the preamp or if I didn't bypass the preamp. This topic requires a bit more than just yes, use a DI box or no, don't use a DI box. You really need to understand all of the different variables at play and how they apply to your specific modeler, your specific mixer, or what you're plugging into what. So you probably need to do a little bit of extra research to see what your devices have in terms of inputs and outputs. I hope that you found this information helpful. Once again, my name is Matthew Dale. I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more, and I'll see you next time.